morning. I don't know if you can hear me. My wash machine was doing some stuff, so let me settle here just a sec. I'm sitting here where I can see all my neighbors and it's not it, but good morning. Welcome to this vlog of a woman in tech wondering about the women in tech movement. You might have heard, or maybe you haven't. If you clicked on this video, there is a high chance that you might have heard about the rough patch that the tech industry has been going through. There are a lot of layoffs, there is a lot of turbulence in the industry and not so much hiring going on. And usually when there's not so much hiring going on, the ones who are affected the most are the ones at the entry level, or the ones with the least of experience, the ones who are trying to enter tech, and they kind of find themselves in a very disadvantageous position. Now, why did I start wondering about women in tech in general? Well, many career changers, boot campers, and self-learners were or are still relying on communities around them, and most of the time it's non-profit organizations, which sadly recently have been going through a wave of closing down, one after the other. The iconic Girls Who Code closed. Now Girls in Tech have also closed down, which truly feels like an end of an era to me, because those organizations were huge. I know, they're not closing down because the job is done, all the women are hired, women in tech are like, poof, we're all there. No, the need to get different people from different backgrounds to work on all the products, especially tech related, is and will always be there for as long as we humans are such a different bunch of people. Because it's really not advantageous to anyone, well, maybe to some, but not to the rest of the world, where there is a very isolated group of people working on products that are going to change everybody's life, everybody's current life, and everybody's future. So no, they're not closing down because the mission is done. They're closing down because they just don't get funding anymore. Recently, I had this moment at work that maybe to some would look like nothing significant and it wouldn't mean much, but to me, it was very meaningful. It was my other female developer colleague and myself. We were working on solving a bug or an inconsistency, something that we saw in the system that was just off. And it was just the two of us. You might be shocked, but or maybe not, but in my whole 6 years plus career as a developer, I have not experienced something like that. I've never had a moment where it was just me and another female developer working on figuring out a bug while both of us have a very solid level of knowledge about coding, about systems, about how things should look like, and work. And it was just very, very joyful moment. Also, given that my colleague is pretty awesome, so that's why there was just such an ease of work. It was such a small thing, but after we finished the call, it kind of hit me that that's what I was feeling. And it's not like I was feeling like, oh wow, two women in tech are working together. No, you don't feel like that, but it was just very nice. I don't know how to tell you. And then it hit me that it was actually the first time that I worked closely with a female developer, not when we were two juniors thrown at a task of hey, figure out how to import a file, but rather a quite serious issue and we were trying to figure it out. It was a pretty kick-ass thing to do, honestly. When I started out my journey, it wasn't because I wanted to be a woman in tech. I actually don't think any of us really pursues that. We just have a passion that we want to pursue, and that's why we go into tech. And because back then I didn't find or I didn't stumble upon any community of developers that were similar to myself, be it women developers community or career changes community. It was none, at least not that I'm aware of, or not ones that would serve my needs. So I turned to Instagram and I created my DanaScript page, also secretly from anybody and everybody I know. As my skills developed, I started teaching also how to code. I made a bunch of coding tutorials. I was doing live streams. I really wanted to teach people how to code so they can also start their career as developers regardless of where they are in the world. And the more things evolved bit by bit, bit, my page kind of became a whole community of its own, which I'm very proud of, and I'm very grateful for people choosing to trust me, to come to me for advice, for questions, for anything. I don't know if awe is the right word here, but I don't know what I am. It's not shocked because I kind of get it because that's what I put out there, but it's just, I don't know. I'm very thankful that the community has kind of like gathered by its own, and we have a bunch of people who are like-minded and who are sharing things and who are learning. And the most thing that I'm grateful for is people actually coming back and sharing their success stories, because that's just pretty freaking cool. And while all of that was happening, on a personal note, I was doing a lot of videos, getting a great momentum with my live streams, with my Instagram, YouTube, and everything. And then life happened. And then life happened again. And it took a hit after a hit and after a hit, and I stopped. I just didn't have any capacity in me to continue giving more or even focusing on coding. I was doing the bare minimum in life and looking from my own little bubble, as we all do, seeing that my community, while it's still there, I'm not actively putting things out there. And now also seeing that such major organizations are closing down, that's why it feels like such a massive end of an era to me. I made this video to show that yes, the world is a bit unstable right now, the tech industry as well, it's going through its ups and downs, but nothing is impossible. And it might sound corny, but stay with me. Same way as before, if you have a passion, pursue it. If you truly want it, please go for it. Put in the hours, put your effort, put all of your strength in it, be smart about it, and make yourself pop. We might need to adjust the strategy here and there, but the end goal is still the same. The skills are still the same. You just might need to push on some other things a little bit harder in order to get into tech. Because guess what? Tech is not going anywhere. Developers are still in demand. Yes, we're kind of like post the hype of 2021, 2022, but tech is still out there. We're still building tech daily. AI is not replacing developers, let me tell you this. We will recover from this little bit of our own internal tech industry crisis, and by the time we do, be prepared to start getting into tech or even get into tech right now. So mainly it was for me to say that it is an end of an era, but tech is not going anywhere. We're still here for each other, and if you need a community and some support or find like-minded people, then please make yourself known in the comments below. Feel free also to leave any words of encouragement for others, and let's see how we can support each other. Don't give up, keep pushing through, and you got this.